Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at a slightly cheaper high-performance mouse from our friends over at Tecware. This is the Torque Plus. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in the last video we had a mouse from Tecware, which was their EXO, which was, is a little bit niche, it was a little bit expensive, and it was a little bit lightweight. So a lot of you said in the comments from that video, and we do take all of your comments on board, so feel free to leave a comment in this video as well. Some of you said, it's a little bit too expensive, I don't want to pay quite that much, but I want a quality mouse. I love the RGB, please find me something else. Some of you said, I don't like lightweight mice, I like something to get my hands around, which, I was limited on replies for that one. So fortunately, I scoured around amazon.co.uk and was lucky enough to come up with this. So this is the Tecware Torque Plus. Now essentially this is kind of the same technology, give or take, as the EXO, but on a much lower price point. Now this one at the moment in the UK retails for around about the £25 mark, £30 mark on eBay, that kind of stuff. So again, COVID times, prices are crazy, changing all the time, so it may be different by the time this video gets out. I was really lucky because when I went onto amazon.co.uk, this was on one of their special deals, and I managed to get this for some crazy price, like £15 or something along those lines. So for me, it was an extreme bargain, but for you guys, obviously, do pay attention to the links in the video description. Also, put it in your basket, so if there is any price changes, you'll be notified them. So if you don't want to make a snap decision now, but you want to wait for a bargain, then definitely put it into your shopping cart ready to go. So anyway, that's enough of that. Let's take a look at the packaging, take it out of the box, see what it's like. Now, spoiler alert, I've already been using this already on my laptop and also been using it on my desktop for a little bit of after hours gaming, and it is bloody brilliant. There's no other way of putting it. When you get a mouse which is responsive, accurate, lovely RGB, feels good in the hand, and also doesn't cost you an absolute fortune, yeah, there's something special about it. So anyway, let's get on with it. So on the packaging, as you can see, this is the normal Tecware kind of packaging. You've got the Tecware logo, RGB, it's using the Pixart 3327 sensor, which isn't top of the range, but certainly does get the job done and is a lot better than some of those cheapo crapo mouses that you may pick up at Walmart. Also, it comes with a power cord cable, which essentially is like a lightweight braided cable, so it slips and slides across the desk so you don't get that lag or drag as you're using it, which is awesome. As you can see on the box, it is kind of an ambidextrous mouse. Now, effectively, it's really a right-handed mouse because of the way the buttons are placed on the left-hand side. But me being a left-hander, as most of you will know, I found this no problem at all, and the shape, the size, absolutely brilliant, no complaints whatsoever. Obviously, when you feel it for yourself, people do have their own opinions, and some people have different grips, claw, pinch, whatever. So yeah, it may not be the mouse for you, but certainly I'm trying to highlight it as this ticks a ton of boxes for not a lot of money. So looking at the smaller details on the bottom of the box, so we've got 16.8 million RGB color lighting. I'm not going to count them. It's also got a 20 million lifespan for the mechanical switches in the left and right mouse buttons. Again, not going to count them. It's got a true 6200 DPI resolution, and also it's got 30G accelerometer and 220 IPS tracking. No idea what that means, but it's a great mouse. It tracks really good. Any surface, cheap IKEA desk, no problem. Mouse mat, no problem, absolutely brilliant. And it actually even works on glass, which I find very unusual. Not a lot of mice work particularly well on glass. So if you've got one of those fancy desks with a glass top, then yeah, you're going to be absolutely fine. On the side of the box, more of the Torque Plus branding, and on the back it goes into a little bit more detail about the individual features. I'll put a close-up of that on the screen for you now so you can check it out in more detail. But essentially you've got the Huano, I think they're called Huano. That is the switches for the left and right mouse button. You've also got the twin RGB adjustments. So on the top, you've got the Tecware logo, which lights up. Also the scroll wheel. That is independent of the actual side RGB as well. So you can take those and basically do whatever you want with them. You can actually turn it off as well. I'll put that in there now. If you don't like RGB, you just want a mouse which is really good and tracks really well and isn't expensive, but you hate RGB, then yeah, this is also an option. It does have up to 8 programmable buttons. So on the side, you've got 3 buttons. On the top, you've got 2 buttons. You've also got left and right mouse button, and also you've got the center scroll wheel button as well. So yeah, 8 is kind of like pushing the boundaries a little bit, but essentially you've got an extra 3 on the side, whereas most mice normally have 2. Another nice thing is it's actually got some really nice textured grips, which we'll hopefully see some B-roll of now, and I'll show you a little bit later. And that is really what makes a mouse for me. The whole point of a mouse is to have control. So having a grippy side, excellent. Having loads of buttons to perform different tasks such as opening, closing, going forward and backward in Windows, or maybe if you're in CSGO, just dropping a few rounds or swapping a weapon. All the kind of things that you need to do on a mouse, and it does it really well. Also on the box it does list the system requirements. Now obviously if it's got a USB port, effectively this is going to work on it. So PS4, PS3, maybe Xbox, Android boxes, laptop, desktop, you name it. It's basically as long as it's got a USB port, this is going to work. If you want to use the software, which you can download from the links here, so usual deal, go to tecware.co/software and you can download the software. I'll put the QR code on there as well, so if you want to, you can take a quick look at their site. But essentially, if you want to take control in more depth and you want to control the RGBs and that kind of stuff, you are going to have to be using either Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, or obviously Windows 10, as most normal people tend to these days. Sadly, for those scrubs out there that are just using Macintosh computers, yeah, you're just going to have to make do with the standard Unicorn puke. So taking a look inside at the packaging and what we get. So we get the mouse and that awesomely lovely braided cable with a little bit of a wraparound Velcro there as well, so you can do a little bit of cable management should you need to if the cable's a little bit too long. Actually, if you're a laptop user, it's actually probably worth keeping it on anyway, just so you can keep it all nice and tidy and just keep it all next to your desk. It does add a little bit of drag, I guess, but even so, the cable moves really nice across the desk. And the feet on this thing are super shiny. I don't know what they've done to them. Maybe they've coated them in wax or something, but they do seem to glide very easily. As you can see, there's very minimal drag there. Feels like I'm walking a dog, but yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, also in the box there is included a replacement set of feet as well. And also there's a little pad as well which goes around the sensor as well, which is unusual but kind of cool. So that's going to keep it kind of perfectly balanced. So you've got a sticker in the middle and all around on the feet as well. Yeah, really happy. I love it when they do that. That is such a cool thing. There's been so many mice that I've had over the years which have basically got to the point where the feet are just scagged or wrecked or just come unstuck, and then you've got this kind of wobbly wibbly mouse which is useless. So having those is brilliant. Anyway, moving on. So looking at the mouse, like we said, so you've got a USB port on the end which is gold plated. You've also got a cap on there to keep it protected if you're putting it into a bag, if you're maybe using this with a laptop. You've got this really nice cable, again braided, 1.8 meters in length, so pretty decent length. The braiding on here actually, it's difficult to actually relay across on a camera how nice this feels. It's a really lightweight cable. You'd think that because of it being braided and having a cable actually inside, it would have a little bit of drag and it would feel heavy, but they've used some really, really thin gauge wiring, but then put braiding around it. It just feels absolutely lovely. Anyway, that's enough about me obsessing about cables. So looking at the mouse itself, so top view wise, you can see there, it is relatively ambidextrous. Hopefully you can kind of get that on the camera. If not, we'll try and get some close-ups for you. So one thing I also like is the buttons. So the buttons are basically crafted from the one piece of plastic in the top. So you don't have little areas there where you can get dust and debris or leftover bits of skin trapped in. So it's always going to be as good as it was the day it was made. I really do like that. Also, it doesn't really matter where your finger is on the top. So if you've got a grip which is kind of hanging over, you can still click at the front there, or maybe if you've got a top grip, it's really good because the pressure, even at the top here, hopefully you can hear that. So the pressure actually translates all the way down from the top. So it doesn't matter where on the actual mouse key or pad, whatever you call it, wherever you click it, it's responsive across the entire face of it, which is fantastic. I don't know why all mice don't do that. Anyway, moving on. So really nice satin matte black finish. You've got the Tecware logo, which actually is done, it's such an incredibly high resolution. I don't even know how they've done that. The Tecware logo that lights up on the back is a ridiculously high resolution. They could have easily done that a lot worse, but it just looks really, really good. I'll give you some close-ups of that so you can appreciate it. So on the top, we've got the mouse wheel, which it's got a little bit of extra roll to it, not a great deal, so quite good for fast weapon switching, that kind of stuff, or just scrolling through tons and tons of Excel spreadsheets, as I tend to do on tax day. So yeah, pretty nice like that. That all lights up as well, which is good. Nice rubber grip on there, which is quite knobbly, so it does actually, it's really tactile, quite like it. On the top, you've got the buttons for, this is for adjusting your DPI, so you go anywhere between, I think it's like 400 DPI up to 6,200 DPI. and you can just go through the buttons and change it. When you do that, it actually changes the color for this top section. So depending on which one you've set, it'll be either yellow, blue, white, whatever. You can change that in the software. You can change it. So if you've got a particular DPI setting you like, which mine I think is going to be somewhere between 800 and kind of 1600, so probably about 1000, 1200, I can set that automatically in the driver and also choose a color. So if I want a white top section and unicorn puke around the outside, I can do that. If I want it all to be red at all the same time, I can do that as well. So yeah, really flexible there. Those buttons are great. It looked at the beginning as if there was 4 buttons on the top, but it's not. There's 2 and they're well spaced so you don't accidentally press them, and the others are just there for kind of artistic design. Moving on to the side, so we've got this really nice kind of, I'm not even sure what, it's like almost like a diamond type pattern on the side, but nice and grippy. And it's not rubberized or anything, so it's going to be nice and easy to keep clean. It's not going to hold on to dirt and dust and Cheeto dust, all that kind of stuff. Then you've got your buttons on the side. So you've got 3 buttons. You've got essentially what, if you're in a browser, would be kind of forward, back, and I don't know what the middle one is. You can program that to do whatever you want. For me, it's probably going to be, because of Counter-Strike, that middle one, nice and easy to just squeeze on the side. So that'd probably be something like reload or whatever. Okay, you can set it to whatever you want, but for me that is going to be my CSGO button. I like that. On the other side, we've got again more of this diamond pattern, which is sculpted. Again, is pretty much ambidextrous. I don't think you'd struggle being left or right-handed with this. Moving around to the front, this section here I like is all kind of opaque. Again, we'll do some close-ups of this, and the cable actually comes off on an offset, which some people may like or dislike. Doesn't really make much difference to me personally, but all of that shows up the light as well, so almost like a set of car headlights. Okay, if you've got it on a desk and it's particularly dark, it will light up the area around, so that may be useful, it may not, who knows. On the bottom, so you've got the 4 feet, so in all the corners, as you'd expect. There's also a pad in the middle, which raises the sensor off the ground a little bit, and also you've got a manual override button for your RGB, so press it once, it will turn off the RGB in its entirety, press it again, and then it turns on just the RGB on the top for the actual DPI settings. Press it again and all the RGB comes back on both zones. So yeah, pretty decent there. We like that a lot. So that is pretty much it for the tour of the mouse. Oh wait, I should have said how much it weighs. It's around about 92 grams, so it's not lightweight by any means. It's got actually a really nice feel to it. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I actually prefer this over the XO. I really do. Whether it's because subconsciously it costs a lot less, I don't know, but the feel behind the kind of the weight of it just feels like a quality product. Anyway, I'm going to plug it into the laptop and we can take a look at some of the software. So with it plugged in, really simple, and it just works pretty much out of the box. The default setup is going to be your unicorn puke. As you can see, I have got the driver installed and downloaded, so we'll quickly take a look at that. So the software actually, yeah, pretty decent. It does look a little bit dated, if I'm completely honest with you, but it gets the job done. So you've got options, so you can program the left button, right button, middle button, the forward, back, the DPI plus, DPI minus, double click. Oh, that's what it is, double click on the, that's interesting. So yeah, the middle button there is set up as standard as being a double click. So I don't like double click, so I'm gonna have that as, I just have it as lighting on or off. So now if I apply those changes, we can go in and there we go, turns the RGB on and off. And see the multiple clicks, so first click turns it all off, another click turns just the top on, and again that changes color depending on which DPI setting you're in. I'll leave it on the white one, and then you can turn it back on. So really handy, you can program the buttons. Again, there's different options you can have in there. So you've got DPI, quick change, multimedia. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Multimedia, play and pause, that could be quite handy for video editing purposes. So if you're into video editing, like I am, believe it or not, then you can actually use that. Also, if you're maybe watching movies on Amazon, you don't want to have to keep on finding the button for it. You can just middle press the button and play and pause your movies whilst you're watching them. Pretty handy. So other things, you've got DPI locks, etc. But yeah, you get the idea. You can actually set it as a 3-click, or scroll up, scroll down. Again, you get the idea. You can see what's on the screen. So also on the other side, so you've got DPI settings, so you can set your individual one if you want to, or you can go with the standard one. So you've got DPI setting 1, 400, DPI setting 2 is 800, DPI 3, 16, DPI 4, 32, and DPI 5, no surprise, going to be 6200, because that is what it maxes out at. But what you want, if you can actually set that elsewhere. So currently it's on 800, so maybe if we set it to, say, 1000, which I think is going to be preferable for me. And there we go, that's it, we're set to 1000 DPI, we're off to the races. Next up, if we go into lighting, so you've got the lighting effects. Again, if you just want to keep it as it is, that is how it works out of the box. If not, you've got the option for colourful streaming, you've got steady, so you can have a single colour if you wanted to. Basically exactly the same as the EXO from what I can see, so you've got breathing, various colours you can choose. Again, you get the general idea. It's, yeah, it's not really anything groundbreaking as far as that goes. Colourful tail you've got, so that just moves the colours around, all sorts of kind of stuff. You've got neon, which yeah, is again, just goes through the colours. That's more of a colour cycle, I would say. So if you've got some older RGB equipment, you could probably sync it with that. Flicker, so if you want to induce some kind of seizure, then that's probably a good one for you. But you get the general idea. So let's go back, because I must have my colourful streaming, otherwise life will not be the same. So in mouse parameters, we've got mouse sensitivity. You can change obviously to whatever you want to. You can improve pointer precision. You've got your scrolling speed, so for your scroll wheel you can adjust the scrolling speed, and you've got your double click speed, which is adjustable. And also you've got your USB polling rate. So yeah, nothing outlandish there. You've also got a macro editor, and you can set various profiles. But essentially, for what it is, for kind of like a £25, £30 mouse with all these features, a quality Pixart sensor, a really, really nice feel to it, this is going to be suitable for pretty much anyone. Like I said, because of the way that the mouse buttons work pretty much all up and down the body, as you get from like the halfway point onwards, it's going to be suitable for anyone. And honestly, for gaming, CSGO, absolutely brilliant. Like, generally, I suck at that game badly. Kath's even, she's like, yeah, you do. Quite often on night time, she'll hear me cussing over there, shouting and using expletives because I've been killed yet again after about 5 seconds of being in the map. But this definitely does help. It doesn't make me a superstar by any means, and I would not recommend that you go out and buy this on the premise that it will suddenly make you good at games, because it won't. You still need to have a mediocre of talent, but this will certainly help push you in the right direction. So anyway, that's going to wrap this one up. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to leave a like on it. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to see more content like this on a regular basis, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the chime button so you'll be notified of future video releases. So that leaves me with nothing else to say other than thanks for watching. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.